Let's start off with the definition of episodic memory. Well, episodic memory is the ability to remember past experience and details about the context in which it occurred, such as when, where, and how events unfolded. There's much research that suggests that episodic memory improves dramatically during early childhood, which brings me to the study on how slow-wave sleep and naps support episodic memories in early childhood. The study was done by the University of Massachusetts and done with the researchers Sana Lachlan-Walla and Rebecca M.C. Spencer to test their hypothesis whether naps do or do not contribute to episodic memories in early childhood. The researchers used a novel storybook task through children 36 to 71 months to examine how much information was retained from doing the tasks. The researchers focused on whether the children performed better after a nap or the children performed worse after no nap. The study suggested that naps do indeed play a huge part in early childhood memory processing. The researchers had 22 participants. The ratio consisted of 7 females and 15 males. The children were only eligible if they met the criteria of having no history with sleep disorders or medical issues. The participants consisted of 81.8% white, 4.5% black, and 13.6% as other. The children got into the lab and then completed the practice phase in which the children read a practice book. In this instance, the experimenter would read and engage with the child, then instruct the child to rearrange the cards that followed the story that was given to them, and then give feedback on a correct sequence of the card to the story. After the encoding stage, the children was then put into the encoding phase. The phase consisted of being read 2 books, but instead of being told to remember the sequence of the book, the experimenters just highly encouraged them to pay attention to the illustrations that were in the book, which then led to the immediate recall phase, in which the experimenters invited the child to retell the story and rearrange the picture cards that matched the story sequence. And then in the immediate recall phase, there was no feedback on whether the children were right on the correct sequence of the cards. After the immediate recall phase, the child was then given 2 hours to take a nap. The children were then told again to rearrange the pictures cards that matched the sequence of the book without any feedback. After the delayed recall phase, the child and caregiver would go back home and come to the lab 24 hours after and repeat all the stages from the previous day, which is called the 24-hour recall phase. Researchers ended up finding that 45% of accuracy of the children was able to complete the task given to the immediate recall phase in the nap condition and wake condition. The researchers ended up finding that children did indeed perform better when they nap compared to when they did not nap. Then, between the errors of the children, 65% happened during the nap condition, whereas 69% of errors happened at the 24-hour recall. The researchers also found that there was a huge correlation between nap and wake conditions, suggesting that sleep benefited learning after overnight sleep. The researchers concluded that episodic memory did indeed benefit after a nap was followed. They concluded that because of their data, the data indicated a nap not only benefits learning, but a nap also extends memory retention for 24 hours after learning. But without a nap, memory retention decreases, thus the child performs worse with learning. The study only had 22 children as participants. It was a weakness because the study should have had a lot more children involved instead of a small fracture. They only had 7 girls and 15 boys. A larger study not only makes the study better, but it also brings representation to all the population. So, because of the small study, they weren't representing all of the population. Also, lack of girls was a weakness, not much variety between each gender. The children were also chosen based on no medical conditions, so they only focused on the healthy children. Thus, it was a weakness because they lacked in including children who had medical issues or mental issues. The results could have been different if those children with medical issues or mental issues were involved. Also, they only studied children from 3 to 5. It was a weakness because the researchers could have studied up to age 8 because age 8 is still considered early childhood. 81.8% of participants were white, whereas 4.5% were black and 13.6% declared as others. It was a weakness because of the huge lack of diversity between races.